Hello, ladies. Hello, gentlemen. Yes, you're welcome. I'm hanging here with your girl, our resident therapist, analyst, Ibifubara. How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay as can be. Mixed feelings, really. I would
Yeah.
put it that way. Yeah.
Naturally, it will be mixed feelings. Does it feel better or worse this morning? Taking it in.
Oh, better after everything. I think I've been able to sit down to look at everything and think about. I already had my next steps before going into the house naturally.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to get going. Yeah.
We'll get to the next steps in a bit, but just to go back, because the house looked shocked when your name was called. You also, of course, were shocked on stage when I was talking to you. How surprised were you? You were kind of sure you were going to stay.
Oh God, I tried not to be shocked in the house. Trust me, I tried my best, but the whole house honestly motivated me that they knew, as if they were outside.
Yeah.
They were like, you never, it cannot be you. If anybody, no, you're the core of the house, you're this of the house, you're that of the house. And they're like, except they're not putting the camera on you, it's almost impossible that you'd be. But I was shocked, right, to a very large extent, because I don't think I was muted this last week. I feel like more of my personality showed beyond being the resident therapist or anything. But again, the game is different every year. So what people would want every year is very different. I don't think people do not want me, but like I said, this show is this year is full, right? And yeah, it's okay. It's okay that I'm out here. I'm just willing to do the best with what I have right now.
I hear you, and so a lot of viewers, I mean, nobody can say you are not vocal. You were definitely in conversations and all of that. But I think a lot of the viewers believed that, besides you were analyzing the game. You kind of knew, okay, is this a strategy? What is this person doing? What is this? Viewers felt like they saw a lot of that as against seeing Ibifubara and her storyline. And that's one thing that's happening this year. A lot of people have storylines. Do you feel like that's a fair analysis of your stay in the house, especially maybe in the first week plus, where we didn't see, okay, what is her story besides the fact that she knows the game?
Yes, I think that was it. It's quite accurate, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like my storyline was unveiling.
Yeah, it just started.
Yeah, just started, right? Sometimes it takes time for this, right, to happen. I believe that if it was more of a, at the beginning, housemate sort of nominating thing, I would have moved, along longer, and my storyline would have unveiled, especially with one. I was not willing to have a relationship with the house, right? But I was willing to try out things just for fun, right? So that was something that even the first thing that I tried out turned into drama. Do you understand? So which was with Bright Morgan and Midday, right? And it was like, oh, that's fun. Okay, so I can distance myself in different things, and this will be drama. Do you get what I mean? So that was something I was willing to work with, right? And there was other parts too with the friendships arc. That was mainly my strategy, honestly, and I think that it was working out for me. So yeah, there was all of that happening. The first week, I got into a friendship that I felt like muted me a bit, and when I got out of it, I think that's when I became more vocal.
Who's that with?
That was with Isabella.
Yeah.
Yes. So after that friendship, I don't know if you watch, you can see even the housemates affirmed it. The housemates were like, oh no, now we know you and now we like you. And please be with us. And it was very nice to watch. So I think that some people's storylines evolve slower than others. And I think I was just one of those people.
Yeah. Do you regret that?
Slightly. I feel like I should have done more the first week. Sometimes it's easy to analyze other people than yourself. So I was very quick to see other people's game plan and very slow to see that mine was a little bit, dwindling. And that's why immediately I clocked it, I was out. Yes.
What did you clock about Isabella?
Ooh. I don't think Isabella is a bad person. I believe that sometimes she needs a power dynamic in her friendship to thrive, where she is ahead or she's above the person. And not because the person is nothing, right? Sometimes it's almost like she's feeding off the person. I don't know how to explain it. It's like she knew that I was smart. She knew that if I actually am on my own in the game, like I would actually make it. So it was almost like to her, okay, this is a 6 months that can go far, right? But because of just like how she is, it just became a thing of, please do this, and it became about her. Because Isabella cannot, it has to be about her. Do you understand? I clocked it and I was like, this might get me far with alliances, but it's just one person. I can't do that to my game. I'm not here for one person. Do you get what I mean? But again, I think a little bit of what Thomas Lawson said is true. She's a little bit selfish, right? Selfish to a fault, right? So if she has you, she can be a jealous friend. She was a jealous friend. She told the housemates a lot that, please don't touch her, this is my friend. And she had a couple of fights with me because I was friends with other people. However, I think that she still has a lot of learning to do. That life sometimes you need people to thrive rather than just being on your own. Yeah.
Did you ever get to tell her this?
Yes. I did. Did
you take it well?
Yeah, I had a conversation because it was Soso that first, came to me and was like, because Big Soso is one of my, close people in the house, and said, oh, whenever you're speaking to me or, you have a thing with me, Isabella sort of like gives me an attitude. Right, and I don't like that because you're the first person I spoke to here. So I went to Isabella and told her that she needed to be with other people. She needed to mingle. She needed to have not have this mentality of other people are stealing people from her and just be in the house. And she did. That was when she started going to, oh, Kola is my friend, this person is my friend, this person is my friend. And other people came to me and said that, oh, that thing that you did, we can see the difference in that. And yeah, I did tell her, and I'm glad that, things are different for her now. And I really hope she opens her heart to genuine friendships more.
Yeah, people, I mean, when you come on a show like this, people always say, oh, sell yourself, sell your markets, and you definitely, I think from the beginning, she's a therapist, Do you feel like it became a burden? Because people came to you a lot with, stuff, and they would say, Ibifubara just really, broke this down for me or whatever. Did you like that, sort of carrying work into a competition? Or did you feel like it also helped you, sort of showcase your...
I feel like it helped my game a lot. My game was not to be a therapist or anything. Hey, God, please, I was leaving work because I was tired. I was there for holiday. But I believe that away from being a therapist, right, I'm just the kind of person, even before I did the job, I was just the kind of person that people, a shoulder to lean on. I think it's also because of the way I talk sometimes and I analyze things. It's beyond being a therapist. I like human behavior. So when people started doing it to me, one by one, and I was like, oh shit, this is about to happen, right? And I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to separate this in a way that allows me to be able to know the housemates, but also make sure that whenever things come out, I'm the first person that they're going to go to, their go-to person, the core of the house, right? So it will affect, I went into the house as my strategy being alliances. Right? Simple. Like, I can't lie about that. Like, that was it, right? And I was building that already. So when we had those conversations, there was do you want me to tell anybody this part? Or is this the part for? So, and whenever you hear something, you go straight to, that, oh, she was the one that, or she didn't tell. So when they said, do you want me to tell anybody? I mean, they don't want to say it. I don't say anything. But there are times where they're like, this is normal. Like, we're just talking, right? So I very much did not go thinking I'll be the therapist of the house. Yeah. But it's almost natural for that to happen when people see somebody, they'll be like, okay, thank God we don't have to hit the gong for a therapist, right? But I think so you leaned into it. I leaned into it, and it would have really helped if they were nominating rather than the viewers.
God had decided to flip the script.
Fam.
Let's get into the Bright Morgan of it all. Okay. And how did we get there on that day? Was there any sort of noticing between the both of you that we missed? And when did it all start?
Yeah, okay, the cameras don't capture. Do they capture everything?
They capture everything, but they can't mean.
Well, they thought we were just talking. So the Bright Morgan of it all is that we had a conversation earlier one day. We're just sitting down.
In the first week?
Yes, in the first week. And we're like, which was a short conversation, but we had several, actually, not just one, where people kept on cutting us short. Like, it was like, both of us were like, what exactly is happening? That every time it's like 15 minutes, someone says, oh, you need to, oh, we need to, and we just go. And we're like, that's interesting. And the first major one happened in the kitchen one midnight, as usual, where we were just talking about things we liked, things we didn't like, what the house was doing to us, and all of that. And that was it. The next time was when you had a conversation with Bright Morgan about him being a little bit like calm. So immediately he came to me. And he was like, oh, he just wants to ask, like, what he can do, what the game is like, how he can move himself. So I told him stuff, same kitchen. There, even Mide was there. but with our eyes just watching us to see what was happening inside that place. But it was just a general conversation, that. But we had a major conversation where nobody interrupted us. Yes. That was like a whole, I don't know if that was captured, but yeah, that was the long one. And that was the beginning of the issues with him and her, where apparently from the house gist, she sort of asked like, why are you having that sort of long conversation with another, woman in the house? And it was in that conversation, I sort of asked, like, are you open to having anything with somebody else in the house? And it wasn't because I wanted to have somebody else. I just wanted to see where his head was at. But it was also because I wanted to have fun in the house with that thing. Because I'd already told one or two people, I think it was Ruboy, that, I think I kind of am attracted to two people in the house, Bright Morgan being one, but I don't want a relationship, especially because it's already intertwined. But what I want to say is if I can get in a mix of that and how fun it would be, right? And I said that. So when I told him, I think Bright Morgan clocked that it was what I was talking about. And he looked at me and I was like, yes, like, just something without saying anything. After that day, there was a few truth or dares where truths were spoken about, where he sort of got to know me as a person, and he took that, right? Every time in the closet when me and Bright Morgan are there, we actually have some conversations, but not conversations at the same time. Like with our eyes, we talk about things. Like some things are actually nasty. Gosh, I can't believe those things are out there. Everyone kind of look at me. But we actually have some very, let's say sexual innuendo. Like they come up a lot with Bright Morgan and I, where he will tell and he'll be like, oh, I know the color of your panties. And I'll be like, guess. He'll be like, what will you give me because of that? Like stuff like that. So I'm not sure. I don't know if they're captured, but like we had those conversations a lot. And one time Kola even caught us saying those things. And Kola was like, what's happening here? And we're like, no, nothing. We're just having fun. Stop noticing. And we did that. So Bright Morgan and I, until the housemates started noticing a lot, we didn't know. We thought we were just hiding. And like I said, if this thing didn't blow up, I think it's something that would have moved to not scattering him and Mide's thing, but just something that would have just been having fun in secret with. That was the plan of it all. So that day, it was just a joke, the girls. In fact, Dede called me, right? She called me in the garden. She, Joanna, Isabella, naturally, because Isabella and I started talking more now. And Mide, but she was like this, because Mide is a little not into things like that. But they called me and they were like, let's do a game. And I was like, okay, let's do it again. I like having fun. But it was Joanna that even told me to go to Bright Morgan. I don't know why, but she specifically chose him. I think because the conversation about Bright Morgan became a thing Victory now knows about. Who else? Otega now knows about. Because Otega told me that I can see you guys. You don't think people can see you, but we can see you guys always looking at each other. Victory said the same thing. Like, Kebebo even told me the same thing. And I'm like, hey, it's getting it's outside. Oh. Just like a few people are starting noticing. So when she told me to sort of like say something to Bright Morgan, whisper, and I whispered what I had to whisper to Bright Morgan. And immediately, I thought that it was just going to be a thing of, like, he would do what he usually does to me. He would laugh, look at me, wink or something, because he does that a lot. Before I knew anything, I did not even think. Bright Morgan lifted me and put on the snooker board. And the whole house, or the people in the lounge, turned their head like, that's not me. That's not me. Something else is going on here. And I was like, hey, Bright. I thought this was not something we had in public. Then that was the beginning of the chaos, the conversations with every other, person and all of that. I mean, Victory told me that, I should wait a little bit after eviction and see how it is like, for everybody's mental space before trying it out. But it doesn't believe that I shouldn't. In fact, Victory openly said, move, like you and Bright Morgan should have a thing,
How do you think that affected Mide?
Mide?
And your relationship with her?
Honestly, Mide and I have no problem at all. Okay. She mentioned that we have no problem at all. Like, I think to someone that came to tell me, Ruboy, right? Because he's in the middle of Mide and I, sort of. He was like, oh, yeah, Mide. In fact, in the conversations Mide has, about this thing, she's always like, I have no problem with Ibifubara. Like, I just want Bright to be able to pick who's interested in. That's her problem, right? That I think she doesn't want to feel embarrassed. Like, it's like you're talking to this person, you're talking to the person, and it has to feel like you're playing to people. Yeah, but I think she also, I didn't want to explain what I was doing with Bright Morgan. Like, I didn't want to go, I'm not serious about your boyfriend or me, I'm just playing the game or whatever. Because that was also a game plan for me to add to my, strategy of it all. Yeah.
And Ortega.
Oh, Ortega is my friend, though.
Friend. You guys spent a lot of time talking, generally.
Yeah.
And so people are wondering, was this just a gist partner, or because you guys are quite cerebral people, you knew enough where to end it, and maybe the feelings were hidden?
Enough where to end it, right? This guy's coming out from something with Sabrina, which I didn't necessarily always appreciate how he spoke about Sabrina. So I mentioned that a couple of times. And I think that sort of mentally blocked me from wanting to explore anything with Sabrina. I'm fast to clock things, as usual. So I'm like, I would just leave it as friendship. If I do anything in the house to take out, again, fun, I'm not necessarily here for any of that, right? I need to be, I saw us, I think one time I saw us in the mirror at the Saturday Nights party, and I was like, oh yeah, this would be interesting to explore. Because we dance a lot together at those parties, and I was like, oh, this would be nice to explore, it's tall. And I think I told a couple of housemates too, I was attracted to him. They were just two, so he was the second person because he's very manly. I was like, oh yeah, you take charge, you make food, you do this, you do that. So yeah, that was, Otega is my friend, right? And he was the person in the house that sort of like broke me. Broke me. I was like this and this and this and that, from physical to, intellectual. And or you're just telling me that even if I don't stay, like this is how it's going to be because of the kind of person I am. And I really appreciated that because I was really crying that night. And when you're depressed, people cry too. You don't really cry outside. But to him, it wasn't just your moment of weakness. This is just you and it's okay. And even with the games, right, he never told me that, oh, sorry. It was just try again next time. You're a champion. You do this. And it felt good to have somebody in the house that knew that was just what I needed in times like that. Yeah.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned being on Big Brother?
Ooh, it's unpredictable. Like life is so unpredictable. Like I'm here. That is so unpredictable. Like I think that it's also my biggest lesson there is just people are just how will I put it? People can, I think I already know this, but people can be anything, right? You can't really judge people because of what you see on day one, right? I feel like sometimes I see people and I'm like, you didn't even look like this on day one, but look at you now, right? But my biggest takeaway from the show is just that I think a place that can be noisy can also bring good things. That's my biggest lesson. Can also bring good things, to be honest. That place might have been so noisy. Sometimes I even felt overstimulated and I screamed. I was like, Jesus, what's happening? Oh, but away from that, and I was like, there's so much goodness in here, right? Yeah. There's so much to learn in here. Oh my God, there's so much love, but love-hate relationships. Everything is inside here. So I'm grateful for everybody that I've met there, whether good or bad, right? And I believe that, when I sit down to analyze properly, I'm going to be like, okay, maybe I should have, but it's okay, Jare, at the end of the day.
Awesome stuff. We're looking forward to all of that. Good luck. You do not look like a therapist, but you are a great therapist. At least the housemates confirmed that. And we'll be looking forward to your podcast and all of the things that are to come. Thanks for being a part of the 10/10 season and doing your thing. And all the best.
Thank you so much, Ebuka.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ibifubara, or IB.
Yeah, exactly.